All right, everyone. Let's just jump right into this. I want to say good morning to you all. I uh, I know you probably said, "What the heck is going on here?" Daryl must have overslept. Daryl didn't oversleep. I let time get away from me. Uh, I told you we were going to underwrite a deal. Didn't I tell you that? Huh? I said we were going to underwrite a deal today. So a deal came to me, and at the last minute, and I wanted to get all the particulars in because I want questions. And now I'm gonna tell you right now, there's gonna be questions that I cannot answer. I can't because I just got this. I what I've done is crunch the market. First of all, I want to see the market, how it was performing. Then I wanted to look at the rent roll T12. Okay. Now this particular property, I'm going to say it's an off market deal. Off market. So although an agent has it, the agent still, although the agent has it, he doesn't have it because I can't speak with the text. That's cool. Okay, so I know the agent for years, years. KW, but he's on the residential side. But this guy's a hustler. And when I say he's a hustler, this guy's a serious hustler. All right. He makes connections with other KW commercial uh commercial uh guys and stuff. And so he builds it's like he builds the relationship with them. Because that's how I met him. And so we have, I'm gonna say, we've been able to talk, we've been able to, and he always come to me, like if he has a question, by him being residential, if he has a question, he'd be like, what is it that I can help you with, stuff like that. So, so, um, he got a property. Now, he's licensed in Pennsylvania. This particular asset is not in Pennsylvania. So, ho- however he's going to get paid, it may have to be split between uh, the investor and the seller. Okay. So, so I've been looking at it. I did not check to see. I did not check LoopNet uh, to see if, as far as I know, it's not listed with any broker. But I do know it's listed on Craigslist. Okay, I know that this guy wants a lot of money for this property. What does that mean? That means it's pushing the cap to a 4. What does that mean? If the cap is a 4, where are we with interest rates? See? So you get it?
Where are we on replacement costs?
Uh-huh. See there? Richard is the man. Richard is the man. So,
Or it needs to be a Class A property.
and it's not. So,
It sounds like a heavy lift.
although I don't have an OM because this property is not, again, it is not listed with a broker. But through what I have and through me being able to use AI, I've been able to find just about every single bit of information that I was able to find. AI told me the age of the property. AI was able to tell me, I think it told me the average rents. It told me, and then it gave me it gave me information. I definitely wanted it to dig into the neighborhood where the property is located. So the real estate market, and I'm just giving you a brief synopsis of how far I've come, and I do expect questions because the questions that you're going to ask are the questions that I'm going to shoot back to him. Okay, so the real estate market analysis shows that yes, this particular area, the city is good. The city is good. The neighborhood is good. I even went on Google Maps, looked where this property was located on Google Maps. A lot of traffic. A lot of traffic passing by. Beautiful building. Beautiful building. Matter of fact, the property is located in Florida. I wouldn't mind having a property in Florida because I could take a vacation there. All right. So just with all of that being said, I did have to do some reconstructing of the T12. I had to do some reconstruction of the rent roll. And the reason why, when he sent me the initial T12, it was only from January to January to May, but I had to drop May because the expenses for May wasn't there. And as I go through, this is where I'm going to take take a few minutes to show you there are certain ways you can still find out what is a loss, whether it's loss to lease or vacancy loss. You're automatically going to know vacancy. That's automatic. When you look at the rent roll, it's going to tell you what the vacancy is. Okay. But sometimes what they give you is this is the rent that is collected. They give you the amount of the rent that's collected. Then they'll say this is something that you may see, and I'm gonna show you. Then they will say if this unit was 100% occupied, this is the rent. So what is that? What is that telling you? Someone tell me when they say that. If this unit was 100% occupied, this is the rent. What is that called?
Gross rent potential.
There it is, the gross rent potential. So now you got your gross rent potential because it says he just told you that. This is it. This is the gross rent potential. Okay, but this is what's collected. Okay, if you subtract what's collected from the gross rent potential, you'll see that that's a loss. Now, what you have to figure out, how much of that is a loss to lease and how much is a loss to vacancy? How much? Now, you're not going to, we have loss to lease, vacancy loss, bad debt, concessions. Okay. The concessions and the bad debt is going to be difficult to find, but the loss to lease and the vacancy is not going to be difficult to find. Once you know what the vacancy is, all you got to do is subtract that. You hear what I just said? All you got to do is subtract that from that total amount. You will have your vacancy. The rest of it, you could just say, okay, I'm just gonna put that's just gonna be the loss to lease, bad debt, and concessions. Okay. And you could set it there.
Hey,
All
Darryl.
right. Yeah.
Is this property in a flood zone?
Okay. That's an excellent question. Why is that an excellent question?
It's in
It
Florida.
is close to water.
Mhm. Yeah. And
Okay.
then what's the
And
insurance rate?
yeah, and he does have flood insurance. Yeah, he
Okay.
does have flood insurance. Now, I gotta admit, his flood insurance is pretty cheap.
Yeah. So is it transferable? Because with a new owner, that may like triple.
Yeah,
If his
we
flood
gotta.
insurance is cheap, it may not necessarily be in a flood zone. He just may have it just because where he is.
Or it's holy.
Or it's holy. Well,
So
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna.
yeah,
there are
yeah.
times where insureds will gut the insurance. So at face value or on a certificate of insurance, it'll say flood insurance. Um, Homes or buildings around it
Right.
may say the flood insurance is 30,000, but theirs may be at 10. And then you'll want to look at the writer to see what's included and what's not included. Because you can, underwriters can remove certain things to make the price work.
Oh, so that's why you say holy.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought you were saying holy, like.
Not this time.
Okay. All right, so I did enough talking, and let me show you. I did not finish. Just to let everyone know, I'm not finished. Okay, and I was able to put in. I did put in the rent roll. I did put in the numbers for the T12, and as we examine this, you're gonna see that there's blanks. Okay, I don't know if, and again, I'm expecting questions. The questions that you give are the questions that I am going to be presenting to the agent that sent me the deal. He sent me. He texted me. He texted me last night. You know, it was two deals. He said I got this one, and he has a nursing home. So I passed on the nursing home and took this one. But if you know anyone that's into nursing homes, then let me know, because I would like to underwrite that one too. Let's see how we can underwrite that one. 'Cause I'm not really familiar with underwriting a nursing home. I'm
How
gonna
big
tell you
is it?
that right now. Huh?
How big is the nursing home?
I didn't even, when I saw it, I didn't bother to ask any further
Okay.
questions. But whatever questions you have, ask me, and I will get the answers. Because
What
Okay.
if you say, Dad, let's take a look at it, then I'm gonna say, okay, Richard, then we're gonna take a look at it.
what percentage of his patients are private pay?
Thank you for the question. See, that's good one. I would never have thought about that. What other questions for in reference to the nursing home? What other questions in reference to the nursing home?
Where's
Is
it
it
located?
Go ahead, Thurman.
Where is it located?
For,
Is that in Florida too?
I think that's in Florida too. But go ahead and ask that question. I'll put that down.
What type of nursing home? Is it just assisted living? Is it skilled nursing? Or is it memory care as well?
Okay. Okay. Continue. I need some more.
Then you break down into how many beds are they licensed for? Then, as he mentioned, is it private pay? Is it insurance? Is it private insurance? Is it Medicaid? You start getting into things like that.
Okay.
How
All right.
long is the lease, or is that business his business? And is the business being sold with the real estate?
Okay. Okay. Now, when you say that, you mean the building and the land?
Well, so you have the real estate, the building
Yeah.
and the land, and then you
Right.
have the business that's being ran in the real estate. Is that business being ran by the owner of the real estate and they're selling the business with the real estate, or are they just a landlord and they have a tenant running that business on the property?
Gotcha. Okay. I understood that one loud and clear. Okay. All right. Any other questions in reference to the nursing home?
Why are they selling?
Okay. Good, good, good.
And is the license conveying with the sale of the real estate?
Okay. Oh, let me see. Let me check the chat, of course. Any questions with the in the chat? Crunching numbers off the presses. I can't speak. Okay, good. Interesting. Or price. Okay, good, 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 good.
And I have
All
some
right.
questions regarding the apartments, but John has his hand raised.
Okay. Okay. All right. Hold on one second. I just want to make sure how many how many doors is the apartment?
Oh,
Okay. Oh, we're
definitely.
definitely gonna get into that. And what does it look like and how much work is needed? Okay. And we're going to get into that too. Okay. Go ahead, John.
Yes, I just had a question about the nursing home. Is it a nursing home or a residential assisted living facility? I think there's a difference. And then I think you should look at the staffing, the profitability, lawsuits, neglect, abuse, that all takes place. And so you know a lawyer's gonna have to get involved. And then depending on where the state is, what's the laws and requirements, whether it needs to have and does it need to be upgraded. And then how many people are actually living in there, and then you still have to worry about viruses, COVID, and so forth. And then you have the change of season coming up, which is what they call the flu and cold season. And so then you have to worry about the staffing and the the residents in there, and then everything else of how it is that the profit and everything, the square footage and so forth.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. All right. I'll definitely all the questions in reference to the nursing home, I will I will gather them from the transcript and I will present those questions for the nursing home to the agent. So that way he could go back and ask them, okay, to get the answers for those particular questions. Are there any other questions in reference to the nursing home before we get into the multifamily? All right, then. Let's go ahead and get into this multifamily. So this particular multifamily is located in Florida. It's a 1968 built. It is it's in the town because I can't give too much information away. But the location of this apartment complex is in a beautiful location. Um, like I said, the real estate market analysis. Matter of fact, I'll show you the real estate market analysis. Let me share that. Give me 1 second, everyone. Let me get to the real estate market analysis form. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to share the real estate market analysis. Okay. So population, the household median income, the home condo value, the numbers look really great. Now, I am going to say this. If you're typing in to verify these numbers, if you're typing in the name that I have there, you're going to you're going to see that those numbers don't match what you're seeing if you're typing in the name that I have there. I just want to say that and letting y'all know that up front. That is not the true city where this property is located. Okay. Um, so, but where this property is located, it is, these are the numbers for the city. Now, the city does appear with all of the greatness of, and the population is climbing. It is climbing. In this particular city, the job for the particular city is a negative 4.3.
Can you make that larger there?
Sure enough, can.
Thank
Give
you.
me 1 second. Oops. Let me see. Let's try this 125%. There we go. 125%. That better?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, cool. So when I did the research for the job growth, the MSA, it came out to 2 point something, positive 2 point something. But I went back and said, I don't want MSA. I only want the city. That's it. So at the micro level, which is the city, you have a negative 4.3. But if you look at the whole MSA area, then it's a positive. But I don't look at MSAs. I look at cities. Okay. Now, would this turn me off? Would this turn me off? Would I walk away from this particular city? No, I wouldn't. Knowing what I know, now I'm not going to do all the talking. All right. I say that all the time. I'm not going to do all the talking. But for this here particular instance, for this particular case, if you feel different, if you say, no, I would walk away, I want you to tell me, no, I would walk away. Okay. Because everyone has their own way of underwriting. Everyone has their own perspective. This is a learning channel. That's what this is. So your perspective may be different from my perspective. That doesn't mean that you're right or wrong, or I'm right or wrong. You may have a different strategy. You tell me your strategy, I may jump on over with you. Right? So if you disagree with this, then say, hey, I disagree with that. I would walk away, and this is my philosophy behind why I would. Okay. All right. So so for me, yes, the city came out pretty good. Numbers are uh, are climbing. The only thing, like I said, the city just had a negative 4.3, right? The city unemployment rate is is less than the average, the national average, and unemployment rate for the neighborhood is less than the city. So negative 4.3, but you have a, see, this is, I take all of this into consideration, but you got a 3.31 on the neighborhood unemployment rate. To me, where are these people working? The question I'm going to ask, okay, where are they working? And I know that the MSA is in the positive, so they are working in the area. Okay, so now let's go into the neighborhood. Okay, so yeah, I know what it says for my limitations, but I'm gonna tell you something. With the way, uh, and if you disagree with this, then tell me that you disagree. The economy, I just don't. I don't. I think, in order to afford rent nowadays, in order to buy a house, your income is going to have to be greater than, I think it's going to be greater than 70,000. I do. I'm gonna stop right there. I want to hear from you now in reference to that. I want to hear from somebody else. What do you think?
Why is the income showing up in red when it's 112,000?
Because the limits is between 40 and 70.
Okay. So can we set those markers to anything over 70 to be green?
We can set it any way we want.
Okay, got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah. Who knows? I know Moses knows. I know Moses is very familiar with this, with this, with the philosophy behind the individual that created this, which is, oh man, I just got a brain freeze on the individual.
Neil Bauer.
Neil Bauer, yes, Neil Bauer. So if you're familiar with Neil Bauer, then and if you have taken his courses up there, as you can see, I have been,
Mm.
right over here. Let me just show you this. You can see I have been keeping up with the latest versions and stuff. And now I don't have, I missed his last recording. I think his last recording was July 22nd, where he had updated. So I have to go back in and get the latest, because I'm sure it's going to be some changes. So for now, let's just look at this. Okay, let's just look at this. But with a 112, where, and I know what he says. He says 40 to 70. But let me see. Hold on one second, y'all. Let's check this thing out. So if you're investing in an expensive state, such as New York or California, bump up the number, 5 or 10,000. Okay, all of the numbers. And if you're investing in Midwest and low cost Missouri, blah blah blah, I think Florida is an expensive state. So I'm gonna but okay. So what's everyone else take on this?
Yeah, what was the question Alicia asked?
Could we adjust the range on the 40 to 70?
Well, yeah, you just answered the question. But it's always been once you go on the higher end,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be cash flowing because the market's too hot.
Mhm.
And then also, Alicia, it's my lesson. Like when you look at, you know, the household income, if folks can afford that kind of price point, you're not gonna have them for too long as a tenant. They're too savvy. Their credits are good. They're gonna end up buying, so you're gonna have heavy turn time to keep them in, unless you have some really Cadillac of a property that you can convince them that that's the best thing for them.
Okay.
And I do believe that's what he said. All right. Okay, so thanks, Moses. So let's continue with the neighborhood. Look at the rent, everyone. Now I'm going to show you on the underwrite, I will show you where this property is with rent. Okay. Okay, so we're already familiar with this. We're familiar. I'm not too worried about this. It's only 4%. Maybe we'll just kick a few people out of the whole neighborhood to bring that down. We can't do that really. But okay. So I wanted to at least share, share this with you because this is one of the things that I do before even underwriting a property. I don't want to waste my time. If all and I really look at the city, I don't really worry about the neighborhood too much. Now if the neighborhood is like if it's going in the opposite direction, of course. You know what I'm saying? It's going in a totally opposite direction. It's not going north, it's going south. Then yeah, I would totally disregard the neighborhood. The city itself is strong. I will keep the city and continue to look within the city into different neighborhoods. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and move on from this. Okay. Hold on a minute. Okay, I just saw. Okay, so I think I squared Alicia away. Okay, good. All right. So let's now look at the underwrite itself. Now, what I'm going to do, I will walk you through. I will walk you through the underwrite. Let me share my screen right here. There it is. Okay. So let's pick it up from the beginning. Okay, so there's 56 units here, and 6 of the units are vacant. 2 of the units they are contracted for lease. All right, but until you move in, I don't count them. To me, they're vacant. If the person hasn't moved in, it's vacant. Okay, so this is the average rent. The average rent is right here, and by pulling the numbers from uh, um, the rent roll, there's definitely, as you can see right here, except for the 1900 one, it's not that much of a spread, as you can see. See right here? So it's not that much of a spread on this 1900 one. So what we could do here in that case, what we could do here is turn this here uh, possibly into a yes. There. Oh, sorry about that, everyone. Hold on a minute. I messed up. There you go. So what you're going to have here. So I know some of these units have been renovated. I don't know which ones and stuff like that. And in a case like this, you know, someone would have to go down there unless we had someone that was boots on the ground that we got, to tour this property and and stuff like that. The owner is looking to have tours. He will answer questions and so forth. Okay, but this is where it stands right now. Like I said, if I don't know what needs to be renovated, I don't know, or not needs to be renovated, but I do see that if you look right here, we have a pretty good spread between the effective rent and where we could possibly go. Okay. Now, and I am going to say this: I don't buy properties based on what they can do. I buy properties. Matter of fact, we don't buy properties based on what it can do. We buy properties based on how it is performing as of right now. Okay. If anyone says that they feel like it's not a good way to go, then tell me. Let's discuss it right here.
I have a question.
Sure.
In regards to the pro forma, I thought that it's based on what the property, I guess, can perform. So you're purchasing based off of the performer, is that correct?
No, we purchase property based on our underwrite, not based off of their now. Well, let me back up. When you say performer, are you speaking of how we underwrite, or are you speaking of what is projected to do in the future underwrite?
What
Did I
is
ask that right?
expected to do in the future? So I know typically with the financials, the broker will provide a pro forma
Mhm.
and the underwriting is based off of that. I'm not sure, is that correct?
Actually, no. Don't when you underwrite. Don't ever base your underwrite off of the OM that the broker gives you. Because the broker gonna give you some beautiful stuff. I mean, that stuff are gonna be so gorgeous. It's just gonna make you melt like butter. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what you want. You want to underwrite the deal according to the T12 and the rent roll. The current. Let me be as specific as I can. The current T12 and rent roll. So what do I mean by current? January rent roll in T12 is not current.
Right. Didn't the guy give you an incomplete T12?
Excuse me?
Didn't the guy give you an incomplete T12?
Yeah, he did. Sure
That's
enough
part
did.
of the hustle.
Yeah.
Beware of that.
Right. He did. Now, I'm gonna get to you, Mr. Jarman. But to answer Bridget's question, so Bob said, Bob asked me, well, didn't he give you an incomplete T12? Yep, he sure enough did. He gave me from January to April 2025.
No, I
But,
got camera on.
right, but what did I do? What did I do, Bob?
You probably estimated, I'm going to say. The question I would have asked them also, or maybe that's on your list to ask, is of the apartments that have been rehabbed, are any of the ones that were rehabbed the vacant ones? Or are all the rehabs occupied and the unrehabbed the ones that are vacant?
Okay. All right. So no, I didn't do that. I did something else. What now listen, everyone, I got a T12 that was from January to April. Mr. Jarman, what did I do when that agent gave me that T12 from January to April? What did I do, Mr. Jarman? Because I know Mr. Jarman knows.
Okay, number one, how's everybody doing?
All right, all right.
What's going on, Bridget? Uh, what I would do, there ain't too much you can do with it, really, man. I would just go and look at what you got, see how fluid they are. When I say fluid, I'm talking about how close together they are, whether um, you have any spikes in there or not. And then I will look at the last month and go from there.
Okay. So
That's what I would do. I don't know.
all right. So keep your hand up, Mr. Jarman, because I'm gonna come back to you. I need someone to answer the question. The agent gave me a T12 from January to April 2025. What did I do? What did I do, or what did I ask?
You asked
Cedric,
Yeah,
can you
for
answer that question?
Annualized it.
Okay, so you say annualize it.
You asked
Next,
them for a
anyone?
current one.
I asked him
Oh,
for a current one. Thank you, Alicia.
mhm.
That's what I did. I went back to the agent and say, hey, you gave me an incomplete T12. Can you please give me a current? Matter of fact, I asked him, can you please give me 2024? And he gave me 2024. And what did I do 2024? All I did was just put it together, built the T12, 2024. That's what I did. So I got my T12.
You got a T12, maybe not a helpful one, because what about the vacancies or the missing months of 2025? You don't know what all hell broke loose.
Well, I got the vacancies. His
So from
T12s, his whole T12s are his 2024, they're the same. He said, in other words, when I say that they're the same, everyone, the setup is the same. So he collected. This was what we would have got it if it was totally failed. You know, so that was that. Okay. So that's good. I looked at the 2025 for January, compared it to, I looked at 2025, compared 2024, see if there's anything I needed to, like, for the space between, inject something or take something out, blah, blah, blah. Didn't he do all that? It was pretty much, whoever running this building, the system that they used, it was consistent going straight across. So I didn't have to do much. Just added the other months that was missing, and now I got my T12. That's it. Don't listen, everyone. Don't overthink this stuff, and don't try to get too technical. All right. All you want to do is get the T12. That's all you want. And as long as you got the T12, you see that you got January to April, then just tell them you want 2024 and put it together yourself. Okay. And then you could go back and ask questions if you need to. And you want the latest rent roll. I'm not really worrying about the rent roll from 2024. I want the latest rent roll, right? Because your T12 is going to help you with everything else. Okay. Mr. Jarman, go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, here's my question. Bridget brought up just a while ago. What I'm doing now is I'm using the OM, sort of like a template. What I'm doing with the OM is not only as a template, but a jump off point to to ask questions to the agent. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm taking all the information on the OM, taking all the information on OM, putting it into my spreadsheet. The expenses, the market rent, the current rent. I'm taking all that information, putting it directly into my spreadsheet, and then I analyze, I underwrite that first to see what I come up with. One of the reasons I'm doing that is that when you have the loss of lease, I'm assuming that all the information is correct, number one. I'm making an assumption that all the information is correct. I'll tell you why. So when I look at their market rent and actual rent, when you take the difference between those two times 12, utilizing the cap rate, you can see what kind of value you can put on the building based on what they say. Okay, but then what I also do, I do what you said just then, get the T12, get the rent roll, now on a different spreadsheet. The T12, the rent roll, and then I plug that into my system, because that's more or less actual, right? The T12 rent roll is actual. So now I use that to come up with my game plan, sort of speaking. And then I come up with the third one. I know, help me out. I come up with the third one. And then I say, okay, this is what I want to do. And then I come up with an offer price.
Okay.
I know
So,
that's a lot.
so the only thing I'm going to say is everyone has a way of underwriting their own deals. And if that's how you underwrite yours, then there's no one that can tell you whether if you're right or wrong. No one. If that's how you underwrite your deals, then that's how you underwrite your deals. Now, they may ask you questions. They may say, why are you taking so much time doing all of that when properties are not, if they come on the market, they're not sticking around very long. You're doing all these steps. Some may ask you, why are you even looking at that OM when it comes to those particular numbers? Of course, we all know, and I'm not saying all brokers, because I know brokers that's on this platform right here that don't juice numbers. They give you what is there. But I also know brokers like I'm sure you have all heard, don't even take that OM at face value. You read it, yeah. And now with technology the way it is, you upload that OM to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, hey, tell me the high points, good points of this OM. What's going on in it? What should I be on the lookout for? All right, and it will spit it out. But as for the numbers, I don't know anyone that underwrites a deal according to the OM. You'll get exactly the purchase price that they want. So, but again, everyone underwrites their own way. And if
Yeah, Daryl,
that's
can I
what
say
it,
this also? Can I say this
sure.
also, please? And here's the major reason, because it doesn't take no more than about 5 minutes to do what I just said, the OM. Take about 5 minutes. So the assumption I'll make is that perhaps the market rent is correct. Let's say it's correct. And then what I can do is take the market rent versus the actual rent and see what kind of, subtract the numbers, subtract the numbers to see the variance between what they're collecting and what they can collect, and then come up with a value for the building itself based on a cap rate.
Okay, so again, however you underwrite,
Okay,
I cannot tell you that you're wrong. The way you underwrite is the way you underwrite. And that, if that's your theory and your philosophy, you stick with it.
okay.
Right? You stick with it. However, for myself and for anyone that's in my coaching program, we're not going through all of that. We're going to work with that rent roll. We're going to work with that T12. We will read and browse over the OM or upload it to ChatGPT and say, hey, there's specific question that we will ask to extract data, information. Let me say the information, or maybe data, some data from the OM. Other than that, we will not be underwriting from that OM at all. We going once the real estate market analysis gives us a thumb up on the city and the neighborhood, we're gonna go ahead and underwrite the deal, making sure that the T12 and the rent roll is up to date. If not, ask the broker for an updated T12 or rent roll. Now, if you have to piece it together yourself, then you just piece it together yourself. Okay. So, right. Input your numbers, look at the deal. What's your strategy? Okay. This guy wants to sell. I'm now again, I'm only assuming he's an older gentleman. Because he said he just went out and he just wants to do believe he said he wants to just retire somewhere. And he doesn't want any connections. He also made it clear he wants his money. He doesn't want to do no seller financing and all of that. Okay, he made it clear.
Some questions, Daryl.
Go ahead, because I need the questions.
Okay, so how?
Oh, wait. Wait.
Uh,
These questions are in reference to commercial multifamily. Go ahead.
yes. How long has he owned the property?
Mm.
Um, what is the number that he needs? Because it sounds like he just needs money to live the rest of his life. So
Right.
is he willing to do seller financing? Because if so, then he can get cash monthly for the rest of his life, right? Um, to in order to purchase the building. Everybody has a number. So we just need to find out what that number is. Um,
Mm.
and then it just seems like everything is stemming around price. So I would want to know how long he's owned the building.
Right.
And he gave you a number already.
13 million.
And how much, where are you at right now?
Well, I'm not completely finished, but I can tell you right now, it's not going to be nowhere near 13 million.
When
I
you
can tell you
say
that right
that,
now.
is
Because
it like
the reason why
10 million?
well, the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm looking at he he's a hard nose, but I think everybody after a while, you keep playing with the nose, it'll get soft, right? So he's like he's stuck on this 13 million thing, which is a 3.7 cap.
Hey, dear, I have a question.
I knew Richard was gonna come in because if we got a 3.7 cap, what is Richard gonna ask? Go ahead with your question.
Uh, since I don't know where it's located, is the dirt worth more than the property?
Whoa. Whoa. I didn't even think of a question like that. Is the dirt worth more than the property? No.
Okay.
I have to say no because it's located in Florida.
That means the dirt's not worth more than the property. The question is, where is it located in Florida relative to other things around it? Because
Hmm.
you could be in a situation where its highest and best use is no longer a multifamily property. Could be a 13-story condo.
Oh, okay. No, it's not a condo. No, it's not a
Yeah,
condo.
No, I
yeah,
wasn't saying it was a condo. I was
Yeah.
saying the value of the dirt could be worth more because you can put, assuming the highest and best use is no longer a small multifamily, you can put a something else on top of it. For example, I'm here in Houston, and there was a apartment complex years ago with probably about 100 units, and somebody bought it, knocked it down, and put up another apartment complex, brand new, to probably about 200 units. So it was worth more than the value of that 100-unit property was. So the question becomes, how much value does the dirt have relative to the property,
Got you. Okay.
or relative to the
Okay.
apartment complex?
Hey,
Got you.
Daryl,
Okay.
I was just gonna say, and the gentleman just answered. I did a project similar in Houston, and that was the exit strategy, because the dirt was worth so much in downtown Galleria. We didn't have to value add. We had investors come in and buy it off because they were gonna build up, something way more fancy than what we're sitting on. So, yeah, and maybe
So
that's why your median household is popping up at those kind of numbers. I was
right.
gonna ask you to double check the MSA and the local market to make sure it's accurate, but
Okay.
you might want to, double check on the location.
Okay. All right. I want to write in the chat, but Zoom has changed this. Now I'm trying to figure out how the heck do I write in the chat? Uh,
Look where it says more,
more.
the three dots.
Yeah, but the three dots it just says save chat, no one, host and co-host, everyone,
Oh, so
main chat, new
you're there.
chat. Oh,
Um,
here it is. Oh, I got it. I
yeah,
got it. They got the thing in the upper left corner now.
yeah.
Oh man, you definitely messing me all up. Hold on one second. Okay,
Bridget.
Richard Copeland.
Bridget has a question.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I have a question. So you mentioned that the cap rate, I think it was 4 point something. So the cap rate is lower than the interest rate. So would this be considered negative leverage?
Yeah, that'd be negative cash flow. You know, if I pay him uh based on a 3.7, I got an interest rate of a 6, I'm not making no money, man. I'm in a hole. I'm having to come out of my pocket. Yeah, yeah, sure enough. Richard, did you see what I sent you in chat?
Hold on one second.
All
Okay,
right,
yeah, I saw it. I
great.
saw it.
We got 2 more minutes, everyone, so I need some more questions. What questions do you have in reference to this commercial deal? Bridget,
So
you know you
just
got
How
some
many
questions.
units? Oh, how many units?
56. Go ahead, Bridget.
piggybacking off of what I just said, would that just like be like a no because it's negative leverage, or would you still dig in further and continue underwriting?
My objective would be with the team would be how can we get the seller to understand that his property may sit on the market for a very long time.
The true question is what is his breaking point? What's his
Yeah,
lowest number, what he's willing to accept?
yeah,
And then you build from there. You show him, hey, this is what's selling in the market. This is the type of condition that they're in. This is what we can do for you.
right. Go ahead, Moses.
Yeah, I think she also has to understand negative leverage doesn't it's not always bad. One of the indication for cap rate when you have a low cap rate, it could also mean it's a very hot area. It's a hot property. Cap rate doesn't just internalize the annualized rate of return. It also tells you what kind of market you're entering. So this sounds to me, and you don't have to disclose, it sounds like a Boca Raton property or something, or where it's in a hot area that has so much going on. And in the other ways, then you have to just put a lot more cash down to make it,
Yeah,
yeah. So your cash on cash is going down, but it's the only way to keep the boat afloat until you can refi later on and take out, equity.
yeah. But and that's going to be a lot of cash. That's
A
the
whole
thing.
lot,
Now
a whole lot of cash, sure.
yeah, you got to put down a lot of cash. Where normally you put down what 20%, you may wind up having to put down 40% or 45%, maybe 50% to bring that number down to where you can have a positive cash flow. Okay. Last question, Bob Test.
Yeah, did that guy give you the average rent per unit, or do you have an average
Yeah,
rent per unit?
yeah. The
How much?
average rent per unit is right here.
Can't
It's
see
right
it. I'm
there.
on the phone.
Yeah. So it's the average rent is like 1745.
Okay, so he's got a cap rate at a 50% expenses. Average rent would be 1,400. So he's got expenses way below 50% to get that crazy 3.7 cap. So this guy is, full of on the blank himself, his rent, whatever. This thing's super overpriced, and plus you got vacancies. And like you said earlier, you buy on what it's making, not what it's gonna make. So if he's trying to sell it as if everything was occupied, that's part of his problem right there. Plus inflated rents, plus the made up cap rate of the area, which is coming up with that $13 million price. Because the cap rate is quite frankly subjective anyway. So I'm just
I
curious
agree.
if he gave you his average rent. Thanks.
Yep. Yep. All right. So it's 12:02. I want to thank everyone for coming. Now, let's come back next week, everyone. I need everyone to come back next week. All the questions that has been posed, I'm going to send them over. But I would like for you to come back so this way you can see what the answers are. Okay? And then while we're doing all of that, I still have to get some more data, insurance, taxes, stuff like that. Okay. Alicia made an excellent suggestion. See if this guy has at least some sort of a breaking point. You know, what is it that he's willing? He wants out. He said he wants out. He just wants the money. Okay, dang, man, can I just, can we do this for like 3 years or 5 years or, you know, if we do a seller, if we do seller finance, then you want to try to stretch this thing out. And you want to try to stretch this thing out to bring down. So you know how that works. The longer we can stretch this thing out with the trying to get that interest rate down with him holding it, then who knows? It could probably work, right? But we don't know. Okay. So I want to thank you all for coming. And next week I may have this one and another property to discuss with you. You see where I'm going with this, everyone? Do you see where I'm going? I'm trying to bring properties so that we can take them down. That's what I'm trying to do. Have a blessed week, everyone. See you all back here next Tuesday at 11 o'clock. And thank you. And if you have any questions, I will hold off on sending out the questions to the agent till about 5 o'clock Eastern time. If you have any questions, email me those questions and I will put your questions with the compiled list and send them over to the broker to get some answers. Okay? But you got to get them to me before 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Okay? All right. Thank you all for coming. See you back here next Tuesday on the Commercial Underwriting Show. Let's get this property. Let's do this thing.
Take care.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.